Hey everybody, it's a situational therapist. I hope you're doing well. I have something very special for you. There's this new app out called Stereo, and it lets you have like conversations with random people. And I've always wanted to show you guys what a therapy session looks like. This ain't really no therapy session. This person is an idiot. And by the end of this conversation, he does kind of change his ways, but he's like this weird libertarian that believes that we shouldn't have any sort of government whatsoever. I don't know how to explain this to you, but I can promise you this. If you watch through this entire thing, you will there's just going to be some laughs. So enjoy the podcast. I'm going to try to do some timestamps later, but until then, please enjoy. I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
So, what do you do for a living?
Breathe air and eat food.
That's how you make money?
Well, I can't make money. That's something that the federal government does. Like, I have no control over how money is printed or coined.
No, I'm talking about selling stuff and making money off of like selling something.
Do you have to sell things in order to make money?
Yeah, usually either like a good or a service.
So you want to know what good or service I sell in order to make money?
Yeah.
Why?
What?
Why do you want to know that? Are you uncomfortable with our current line of conversation?
We're not talking about anything. What are we talking about? I don't want to talk about that.
Well, then why did you ask me what I did for a living? I didn't ask that question.
Cause that's what I want to know. I want to know what you do for a living. What are we
Why?
supposed to? I don't know. Just to know what people are up to and how they make money.
Why are you so concerned with making money? Are there not any other topics to discuss?
Dude, like how are we supposed to move? What do you do? You just sit around all day and like until I get my government check or whatever the fuck it is. Like
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
really funny. No, I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy, and you are racist as fuck. Where in the hell did all that shit come from? Why'd you even start
no, I'm
bringing that
not,
bullshit up? You
dude.
asked
I'm
me what
not.
I did for a fuck. Wait,
I'm
shut the
not.
fuck up. You asked me
I'm
what I
not.
did for a
What?
living, and when I didn't give you an answer, you fucking assume that I'm on some sort of government assistance. Why would you even bring that shit up? Because my emoji looks black? What a fucking asshole you are.
No, I'm
Because I
not,
didn't tell
dude.
you what I did for a living. Because I didn't tell you what I did for a living, you're gonna assume that I'm getting a government check. What is it? Just talk up. You know what? No one knows who you are. Just let your racism out. Come on. What else you want to say? Just let it out. Nobody's gonna know. Come on with it. Let's really get out there. All black folks are lazy and they just get government checks. And if they would just
No,
pull
I'm not.
themselves up,
Yeah,
you've
you.
lived a life of so much
No,
privilege, you have no fucking clue.
dude. You want? I'm not talking exclusively about you. I'm talking about white people too. If you don't
You
have a
didn't say
job,
that shit.
well, I'm telling you the truth. Okay, I'm telling you the truth. It's the idea of socialism versus capitalism. If you don't have a job, right? The only way that you get money is you either steal it or the government gives it to you.
So
Okay?
listen to this then. Why do we even need money? What is the purpose of money? Because you are so stuck in the matrix, you don't even fucking realize it. Why do we need money? What is the purpose of money?
What I said earlier, it's to
Answer the
accumulate.
question now. I'm trying to lead you to a point. This is called, I'm asking you questions to lead you to a specific point. So if you don't mind, I've listened to you. You don't even understand that you don't understand. You are so stuck in the matrix, and I want to help you get out because you think it's socialism versus capitalism. But either one of those systems applied in their most perfect form, somebody is going to get hurt. But the people out here who can only think in terms of black and white and who can only think in terms of either or, you guys are the reason that this world is going to shit because you need both of them. A purely capitalistic society is fucking gross, and there are people at the top who will benefit. A purely socialist society is fucking gross. and there are people at the top who will benefit. You need to stop having the either or argument and come up with something a little bit more fucking creative other than just saying what's wrong with the other side.
Well, so what is your grand idea?
You see, and this is what the fuck y'all do. Instead of admitting that you were wrong, what you do is you get that attitude, that energy. So what's your fucking grand idea? Bitch, I didn't start this fucking conversation. You did.
Okay, so well, assuming if you think about it, the idea that the family is the only thing that matters, based on that idea, you wouldn't go to work. You wouldn't work.
What are you you have not yet made your point about who is saying the family is the only thing that matters.
I think that you want to know something, like everybody's gonna say that I'm crazy, like the whole country, whatever you want to say, but I'm thinking that that's got to be like I'm thinking it's a socialist idea. I don't see
You're
why.
thinking that the idea that the family is important. What is so scary to you about what is socialism? Explain to me your understanding of socialism.
It's the idea that it's a community. It's you work as a community instead of it as an individual. That's basically the general idea.
That's your you need to go read a fucking book. Because that is not at all the basic idea of socialism. At all. That is one of the most retarded understandings of socialism I think I've ever heard. And I know that using the word retarded is mean. That is not what socialism is. You are out here railing against an idea that only exists in your mind. Nowhere else does that idea of socialism that you have exist
in my mind,
other than between your head.
What else would we be talking about?
The other definitions of socialism that are actually real, not this bullshit one that you just trotted out.
Yeah. Okay. So
but
what?
You don't
what
even know what socialism is. You don't even know what it is. You're just repeating shit you heard.
Okay. What is your interpretation of it? What is yours?
Why I did not start this conversation. You have started the argument. I've shown you that you don't know what you think you know, and now you're telling me it's my job to tell you. Absolutely not. Go figure out your point of view and then come back and have this conversation.
I guarantee you that what I told you originally is part of how this idea functions.
It's it's the stupidest part of it, though. You've taken the most stupidest part. You've taken the part that you would explain to a kindergartner is your explanation of it. There's zero nuance in your explanation. You're just taking the smallest part that you can comprehend and saying this is what socialism is. It's so stupid. It's pedestrian. You would get demolished in a college campus. A professor that believed in capitalism could out debate you on socialism because that's how much you don't understand
it. You want to know something? I've researched that shit quite extensively.
Yeah. Tell me about your research. Tell me about your research that you've done. This is the best part. I can't wait to hear about the research that you've done. What research, what sites did you Google?
You can't, another thing, let me ask you a question. How does more than like 10 people own something? It's the most ridiculous idea. Seriously. Tell me some shit.
How do shares work within a company?
I don't. Yeah, you want to know? Well, that goes into the whole idea that all this. That goes into like a whole can of worms and all this shit, all this corporate shit. It's not even. It's technically not even totally capitalistic. It's based on socialist ideas or whatever.
So, what do you want the world to look like, boss? How should this shit be? Go ahead. Tell me how you would design it. I'm all ears. I'm all.
Dude, you talk. Well, first and foremost, you're talking about no government. Okay, no government.
Okay, no government. All right.
Yeah, and then just like the idea that if somebody doesn't want to work in some sort of a group with somebody, the people that that person is the society that person is a part of, or whatever, he gets to do, if he wants to do whatever he wants to do, if it doesn't hurt anybody, if like there's no life threatening, like he's not polluting a river or some shit, right? If there's no life threatening situation to anyone else's health or whatever you want to say, he can do whatever he wants and make money however he wants. Nobody gets to tell him what he can and cannot do. That's complete bullshit.
So you want to have no. So how do we handle? Let's say you and I were having this lovely spirited conversation, sitting on the porch, and at some point, I just got pissed and whipped out a gun and shot you in your face and killed you. Right? What would be the ramifications from that? Since we have no government, what would stop people from just going around and fucking murdering each other and shit?
Well, think about it. If you have a capitalist society, then technically you could, well, like you bring up like a whole can of worms or whatever that is like, I don't know, but you have to have a situation, right, where like there's repercussions regardless of government. So the only solution I can come up with, right, is that if you have a free market, then somebody can buy. You can have multiple different types of people from all different walks of life buying a weapon. So if everybody has a weapon, right? If you do something to me or some shit, and somebody else has a gun, they come and they kill you. So the whole thing.
But then, okay, so then what if somebody I know comes and kills that person that killed me?
Well, then it would just keep going
And so
until everybody's.
we'd have a country where people were just shooting each other all the fucking time.
No, you wouldn't, because everybody would die.
Exactly. You realize the point you just made blew up on itself then. So if people try to govern themselves like that, everybody would just die.
You're saying that everyone would just kill each other until
Why
everybody's
wouldn't
dead?
they? Why wouldn't they? Who would stop them?
Dude, it's, you want to know something? The government is working the same way. The exact story
You're
trying
not, but look, I would love to hear your point about the government, but you got to deal with the one that I just made before you move on to the next one, which was a society. In the way that you just described, the logical conclusion is everyone killing themselves.
Okay, so
Who's
you're
gonna
saying,
stop it?
hold on, you're saying if you knew that somebody is gonna come to kill you with a gun, you would still kill me? That doesn't
Well,
make
what are
any
you gonna
sense.
do? What are you gonna do about the criminals? What about criminals who get guns? What about the entire gangs that have guns? What about all of them? If there's no law and no order.
Okay, so you want me to answer that?
I want
Okay.
you to explain to me how in your country, where there is no government and people are to govern themselves on an individual basis, where we don't have any of those things, tell me both how that country survives and why its populace doesn't murder each other.
Okay, well, obviously you have a point in, well, not really. Like I mean, based on how you look at things, like everything is perspective. But like obviously, if you had a large group, like gang of people against one person, or a smaller group, that is not, obviously it's not going to turn out well for the smaller group. But it seems like it's happening the same way with the system that we have right now. So it doesn't.
It's almost like we need nuance or some shit, right?
What do you mean?
It's almost like we can't have all of one thing and we can't have all of the other thing either, which is what you seem to be advocating for. So a bunch of government sucks and a little bit of government sucks. So how about we have something that's a little bit of government, but a little bit not of government? We help out when we need to, but if we don't need to, we don't help out. But we have a safety net so that no one is fucking just asked out. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a system like that?
Yeah, but that I don't think that's what's happening right now. I think it's
No,
the
it's
same
not what's
thing.
happening. No, that's not what's happening. No, that's not what's happening. But what would we call a system where we kind of just, as a group, socially, kind of helped each other out.
You're saying that's got to be socialism. I mean, you want to. I see what where you're trying to go at, but you want to know something. Either way, it doesn't. It doesn't think about it. Either way, it doesn't matter. With that question you asked me, it doesn't matter either way. Everyone's gonna stick to their group or whatever. And you want to know something? Think about it. Just the idea that potentially someone can co-opt the government, it makes the government completely irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. It's a corruptible institution, and as long as it's corruptible, it means that it doesn't work. And if something doesn't work, there's no point in using it. It's like having a car with no engine. It's fucking stupid.
So again, if civilization fails and no civilization fails, why exist? Why not just off yourself?
Well, that's not the purpose of life is to try to obviously to try to exist. Like nobody wakes up in the
The
morning
purpose
and
of
goes,
life is obvious to you?
"What is the like? Why are we here? You're suggesting that I should just kill myself? Like what the fuck?
No, no. I'm
What if I
saying
said that to you? What?
no one said you have it. You don't listen very well. I didn't suggest that you kill yourself. I said, why not just off yourself? That is different than me saying, Bart Simpson, you should kill yourself. Those two things. Do you
What the
understand the
fuck
differences
does that
between those
have to
two
do with the
statements?
point I just made?
What do you mean? What does it have to do with the point that you just made? I'm saying that if what you are suggesting, to my understanding, is that socialism does not work. Capitalism does not work. At the end of the
No,
day, it doesn't matter. Let me finish. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Why have a car with no engine? So, what I'm saying to you is that if you feel like none of this stuff matters at the end of the day, then why not just off yourself? And then you said, oh no, that has nothing to do with anything. Why did you ask that question? And I said, well, that is what that leaves us with. That's how we got there. So, do you understand the difference between me telling you to kill yourself and me asking you, why do anything? And then you said, well, obviously, the point of life is this. And I said, that's obvious to you? It's obvious? How is the point of life obvious to you? And that is how we got where we are. But I did not tell you to kill yourself, nor did I suggest it.
okay, well, what are you going to say about the idea that the government is potentially compromised? You don't care about that idea, do you? You're just like I can't
So
work
I would
around that one.
appreciate you. I would appreciate you if one, you wouldn't tell me how I feel. You don't get to do that. And two, the question that you are asking me is so poorly formulated that I don't understand the idea that you want me to even conceptualize. So could you please try to help me understand? Because you're just saying, so you don't think. So you started with the conclusion and then you talk to the end of it like you've walked me there, and it makes no sense. So if you could start over and ask me what I think in a positive sense about the government. What are you asking me? What are you trying to see if I understand about the government or don't understand? Because you did that stupid little laugh when we were talking as if you understood something that I didn't. So please tell me what you understand about the government that me, the sheep, the idiot, so obviously doesn't get.
Okay, so you're saying we need like some amount of government to keep everything in check or whatever, to make sure that no one is like left behind or whatever you want to say. But think about it. If you have a situation where you have a majority rule group or whatever, and they decide what's going to happen in society, and the government is compromised in regards to that, then that person they are not helping that person. They're just basically they're detrimental to that person's existence, if anything. So there's no reason to have any sort of organization. It doesn't matter. You can just have individuals. Dude, like I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like if you just had people selling shit or whatever, like I sold stuff. Like let's say you sold some sort of food, and I sold some sort of food, okay? And it's like I go to you, I buy your shit, and you buy my shit, and there's nobody telling us who can succeed and who can fail, whatever you want to say. And we do business and we enjoy buying each other's things. That's all that matters. You don't need the government telling you what to buy and what to I mean that's something that people will decide what is good for the community. It has nothing to do with some bullshit people telling you, oh, this is bad or whatever. It's like it's irrelevant. It's unnecessary. Doesn't fucking matter. It's just
Do
me,
you know
you,
what was?
and
Do you know how our food was before the Food and Drug Administration was formed? Do you know what was going on with the food? Do you know the history of the Food and Drug Administration? You
no.
don't. You don't. So you need to go educate yourself on what it was like for Americans, what the amount of rat feces, the amount of shit that was in your food before we had a formalized, centralized way of coming up with standards. And that's what you don't understand.
No,
You don't understand
no,
that if
see,
we
that's the
just
thing I
have a
just said,
bunch of
dude. I included that problem into my assessment or whatever. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that you will decide what is good for you. The best ideas will rise to the top. You understand?
So
The
again,
best
tell me
ideas.
what you don't think I get because I understand more than what you think. You think that we're talking on the same level and we're not. So tell me what you think I don't understand. What is your big point? What's the overall
Okay,
thing that you're trying to get me to see?
okay, dude. Like I give you a perfect example, and if you still have
I
something
don't want an
against this, I'm
example. I
just
want you to tell me what I don't understand. I don't want an example. I want you to get to the point of this discussion.
dude. I'm trying to get to the point. Okay, like I'll give like let's say you bought some good weed or whatever, right? And you enjoyed buying that shit, okay? Or anything else, like it could be anything. It doesn't matter, okay? But the idea is that you enjoyed whatever it was, okay? If you enjoyed that or whatever, then if I continue to sell it to you or you sell me something that I enjoyed from you, that's all that matters. It has nothing to do with a food and drug administration. If you enjoy something, like it's profitable. Like it's the whole idea of these regulations and all that shit is just so you can fuck somebody over and put them out of business. That's all it fucking is. Okay?
Okay. Well, you are free to think that, sir. You are free to think that. I can't. If you want to say that you're a free thinker and believe that that is true, I'm not changing your mind. But for you to say something like that is so absolutely stupidly mind blowing. For you to say that all that reason that it exists is to get people up on people. That's sort of ridiculous. And what you don't realize is that even if you do your little individual country where everybody is their own individual country and shit, which is basically what that would be, even if you did that dumb shit, people would probably still form committees, which would probably look a lot alike the Food and Drug Administration. So you don't know that you don't know. And you don't even know the history of the FDA or what it's for. Every single thing that you're looking at it in a black and white way. You are looking at it as either it's all good or it's all bad. There are terrible aspects of having a centralized government. There absolutely are. It's prone to corruption, as we see it with our politicians. We see it with the way that they take money for these campaign contributions. We see that our government is compromised. Absolutely. And that is just because we have an entity of a government. There are bad things that happen because of the government. On the flip side, there's no way that we would be able to have the amount of when something goes, if a natural disaster happens in Montana, we can get them resources that they need because we have a government, because we have a centralized way of talking to each other. But as long as you think in terms of black and white, as long as you think it's all bad, you are going to be an idiot, man. And you're going to be the worst kind of idiot. You're going to be the idiot that doesn't know that they're an idiot and thinks everybody around them isn't getting it. You're not wrong. You just don't understand the points and places where you're not even right. And that's the issue. When you can understand the good aspects of the government, then you'll be able to make your discussion. But you don't understand the good
What are
aspects of the
what?
government until you see
Okay, so
socialism bad and capitalism good. And that's okay. You're going to get there one day.
no, I don't think you want to know something? I think that I'm already here, man. I mean,
I
what
told you
is your
that you would say.
example? Dude, what is your example? You want to know something? What one thing I can say about you, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of these socialist countries, whether you're talking about the Soviet Union, which doesn't even exist anymore, or these other
When did I
bullshit.
bring up this? Who the fuck are you talking to? When did I bring up the Soviet Union? I'm not even a socialist. What are you talking about?
Well, okay, so if you're not a socialist, then why? What is the conversation about? That the government is good?
Are you not able to see nuance?
What is the definition of nuance? There's a lot of weird words in the world. I can't look that up right now. I guess I can, or whatever.
I, I, I,
What
it,
what are you? You're breaking up. What happened?
I just, I can't believe what I've heard.
What?
I can't believe what I've heard you just say,
Dude, I'm not a
which is that
dictionary. Sorry. What?
it's not about being a dictionary. I'm not surprised that you don't know what the definition of new. I'm not a socialist. That's why you bringing up this. Do you know how to have a conversation with someone and have a disagreement without hating the other person and making a caricature of them?
Uh, isn't the idea of an argument is that you're trying to persuade them to your way of thinking? That's like the entire purpose of an argument. Is it not?
Absolutely not. No. Why would the entire purpose of an argument isn't to try? Sometimes you can have a discussion with someone knowing for a full well fact that you're not going to have their point of view. My purpose of an argument is to understand where the person who doesn't agree with me is coming from. The only time I need to persuade them is if it's like a decision that I need them to make.
Okay, well, we're on like two completely different pages or whatever then.
In terms of so many more things than you understand, because you cannot see how you think that the opposite of socialism, which is capitalism, or the idea of no government whatsoever, everybody just libertarian out, like I just don't think that you see the nuance necessary to have that discussion. And so if you were going to vote, how would you vote?
There, if you don't have a government, you don't vote for shit. Just think
So
about it. You don't.
what is to stop someone then from amassing a lot of arms and just going on a killing spree? Why wouldn't they do that?
They can do that now.
Does it happen?
No, but they could technically, you could have some lunatic do
Now,
that right now.
why do you think it
What?
doesn't happen?
You're suggesting that there's a surveillance state in place that's making
Did
sure
I
that it doesn't
suggest
happen.
that? No, no, there's not a surveillance state in place, but we do have something in place that might deter people from wanting to do that. What do you think that might be?
Uh, the police? I don't know what is it.
And who organizes the police?
The usually the local government.
Oh,
What?
yeah. Yep. Yep. That's exactly who does it.
You're saying that sarcastically. Is that not who does it? What?
Yep, you're right. I'm not saying it. I'm agreeing with you. Yes, the local government, which is in charge of the police, which wouldn't exist in your fantasy realm where everybody's their own independent nation. Yes, they take care of incidents like that.
Yeah, but that's only if something happens. They don't do that like with something that is going to happen. Not that I'm aware of.
And so, what happens in your land where everyone is their own independent nation and we don't have no government? What happens when, let's say, the Ku Klux Klan decides to go on a rampage and kill folks? Who's going to stop them?
It would be like uh just like people in your community, obviously, right?
So, people in my community. Now, with the people in my community, do you think that maybe in order to have the community work, we would need to like band together in maybe groups and maybe make decisions? How do you think we would make decisions as a group in a community like that? What's something that we might do?
Well, you could do either or whatever. You could band together to you know, try to figure something out as a group, or maybe if there's some guy who's saying that like I need to take this into my own hands or whatever, like you guys don't know what
So,
you're talking about. What?
so Batman.
Yeah, like whatever, Batman, like something. And like he's like, I'm not gonna play around with this shit. Like I'm going in there with dynamite or whatever the fuck it is. It's like then obviously like, that so you could, I don't know, like you could have people who are do you get what I'm saying? Like that,
It
so
sounds like you
you
want to live in Gotham City.
seriously.
You realize what you're saying is absurd right now. Do you realize that you are
What?
advocating for people to be vigilantes in this crazy individual world where there's no government?
You could do that right now, technically. Like, who the fuck is stopping anybody from doing shit like that?
Yeah,
Nobody.
who is stopping people from banding together and going out on killing rampages? What do
No, not
you think deters people from doing that right now?
dude. Why is everything about like murder? Like, what? Don't you have like some other idea that you want to throw at
Sure.
me?
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm just saying, I don't mind throwing another idea at you as long as you are willing to concede the point that you don't have a fucking answer to the question about
yeah.
people getting fucking murdered in your world and imagine. Now, that's fine. If you want murder to be a part of your plan, boss, I'm there for it. But could you please concede to me that probably a lot of motherfuckers are going to get murdered in the world you want us to live in?
Not if
I'm the hero this crazy individual world with no government deserves.
yeah, you want to know something? Tell me some shit if everybody owned a gun that there would be people getting murdered. You know that they wouldn't be getting murdered. And if
You know
also if
what?
they
You know what's interesting? Maybe if there was a period in history that we could go back to and look at, perhaps we can see if in that period of history, people lived in the way that you were describing. Can you think of any time in the history of maybe American history where people all rode around with guns and handled things in that way? Do you know of any time periods like that?
I guess maybe the old west.
The old west, and did not a lot of people get fucking murdered during, in fact, weren't there like bounty hunters, weren't there like famous folks that went out and murdered quite a few people? So I think your premise and idea that if everybody, but see, we don't even have to use guns because that might be offensive to you. um maybe we could look back to even ancient Greece. Didn't we kind of sort of murder people and shit all the time? And what do you think has stopped people from just going out and murdering people all the time?
There's murders taking place now. There's no time period in history where murder is not part of like society.
You are
It's just
absolutely correct. I don't think my premise was that murder won't be a part of society. I am saying, do you think that the amount of murder that we have now would be different if we had, you know, less of no formalized governmental structure? How do you think the murder rates would look in that
what
way?
is you want to know something? I think I know where you're going with this. You're
Do you
suggesting
do?
that hold on. I want to say something real
Go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
Be
think I
careful
know
though.
where. Yeah, I know where. I think I know where you're going with this. Like you're saying that like if something happens that like the National Guard is called in and then they restore like law and order or whatever. But that's the thing. What I'm trying to tell you is law and order is this it's this desired effect. You're not achieving it. Just the idea of law and order, if you have to ask me, is a potential illusion that you have control over a situation. In reality, you don't.
So again, I think that you might be misunderstanding something very, very important here, which would be intensity. Okay? So, yes, at the most basic level, we, society, these words, the government, all of these things, yes, they are descriptions that only exist within our mind. But without them, you and I would not be able to have this conversation on the phone right now. You wouldn't even be holding an iPhone in your hand. It takes organization of people in order to get things done. Without that, it just becomes murderland. And again, if you want to live in murderland, that is fine. I hope that you don't live by those principles. I hope you don't go test it. But you are just engaging in mental masturbation, but you're not coming up with any real solutions because you don't really understand the problem.
No, I understand. Like if I'm telling you about the National Guard, obviously I understand uh things to like an extent. I don't understand 100% of what you're talking about, but right, like I understand it. Like you're saying, like I don't understand it at all,
I
which is a
don't
lot.
think, no, 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 no. I don't think that you don't understand it at all. I think that you don't know what your blind spot is. You have no idea that you think you know enough to make the argument that you're trying to make. And honestly, you don't. You really don't. Because I've asked you some questions that you should be able to answer if you really understood the argument.
What did you ask me another question? I'll answer it.
Define socialism.
I don't have like the Webster's dictionary description or whatever, but you got a you said that this conversation wasn't about socialism. What the hell are we talking about? Hello?
I asked you, I told you rather, that you don't
Okay,
understand
I'll
enough.
answer. So you're talking about like group ownership and group control over the means of production or whatever.
Are
Okay,
you a robot? Are you a
that's
robot?
what
Is this is
that's what so
stereo
that's
like a way
what's
to test for like AI? Is that what this is? Is this the Turing
dude.
test?
Dude, I'm not a robot. Okay, I'm wondering
This
if
has
you're a
got to be
robot.
the Turing test. This is the Turing test.
It's
This
not.
Google? Did Google do this? This is some
Yeah,
shit Google would do. This is some shit Google would do. This is a Turing test. Nobody's this stupid. This is the
dude,
Turing
that's
test.
you. Do yourself a favor. Look that shit up. That's the definition that they gave me. I remember that shit. Okay, so unless you've looked it up like I have, which maybe you haven't, that's the definition that they give me. And you want to know something? The general idea I get from it is the idea of like individual ownership. It should not be a thing. Okay, it's not. They don't like whatever this shit is. Like these Ukrainians or these fucking Russians or some shit. The idea of owning something, like having ownership over something by yourself, is a shitty idea. Is it not? That's what one of their main focuses is. Okay, which is, you think about this. Tell me some shit that I care more about something that you own than you do. It's complete bullshit. You know it is bullshit. So don't
Tell
tell
me
me some.
what could you please repeat that a little bit slower? Because I think you're having an argument with somebody who isn't here. Tell me what I know is complete bullshit again.
Okay, so dude, think about it. Let's say I borrow your car, okay, and I just totally trash it because it's not my car, and I give it back to you, and you go, "Why did you trash my car? Wires are all like Doritos and like Funyuns and shit, and the car, I got a stain on my car seat or whatever it is." And I go, "Well, yo, this is a socialist car, man. Like, what's the problem, man? Why you gotta be all capitalist or whatever on me?" And you go, "Capitalist, you trashed my fucking car or whatever, right?" And I go, "Man, you're totally capitalist and you're a fucking jerk or whatever, right?" It's like you would be pissed. You'd be pissed. Don't even tell me some shit you wouldn't be pissed. So, dude, this idea that you don't own something outright, it's not yours, it's a stupid fucking idea.
So
Okay?
what you okay, so
Socialism
listen, your
socialism doesn't
conclusion,
dude, so
listen, your conclusion does not follow from the example that you just gave. And you need to understand how, because you sound so. Let me explain to you. So, what you've done is you've said if someone borrowed my car in a socialist world and they trashed my car, you talking about the car getting trashed. The car getting trashed is not the fault of socialism. That's because you let an asshole borrow your car. That has nothing to do with socialism. But you've
yeah,
taken that point
dude, if you
and
don't own
extrapolated it to socialism, and it
dude,
does not follow.
you don't have private ownership over anything.
What does that have to do with someone being an asshole and trashing the car?
Because you don't, dude. Are we in the same fucking universe, dude?
I
Seriously,
don't
like
think so. I
there's some,
don't think
dude. There's
so
some,
because what
yeah.
you're saying is that just because socialism happens when someone trashes your car, when someone borrows your car, they're going to trash it. That doesn't follow. That doesn't make sense. Someone can
It
borrow your
makes,
car and not
it
trash
makes.
it.
Do you want to know something? It makes perfect sense. Like the only reason why I can think that it doesn't make sense is like I am white and you're like black or some shit, dude. It makes perfect fucking sense. Okay, it makes perfect
Why
sense.
would someone trash your
But
car just because you're in a socialist society? Why
dude,
can't they?
it makes
You can be upset about the car not. And again, I'm not a socialist, you fucking idiot. You can be upset about the car being public ownership. You can be mad about that. I would be mad about that. I don't want my car to be public property. But for you to say that socialism makes people destroy your car, that is fucking stupid. Your
no,
point,
it
you're
doesn't.
not.
No, it
Yes, it
doesn't.
is, you idiot. I agree with you that a car should not be public ownership. You should have the right to your own car and you shouldn't have to share it. I agree with that. But what you are saying, if someone says, well, you wouldn't let me borrow your car, that means you're a socialist. No, the person you are talking about is an asshole, but it is not the fault of socialism that they trashed your car. They trashed your car because they're an asshole. It has nothing to do with socialism. You can hate socialism. I don't like socialism to an extent. I don't like certain definitions of it, but what you don't get is that there are multiple definitions of things. And that's why you have conversations with people that are not about trying to persuade them. I know I'm not changing your fucking mind. Your mind is so fucking made up. I'm not changing your mind, but I am going to be one example. You're going to either have to say that you either have to say that we're living in another dimension. You have to say I'm a crazy black dude. You have to say something, but you got to deal with this situation because deep down inside, you know I'm fucking making sense. It doesn't matter about socialism as to why they trashed your car. It's not about that. They trashed your car
but it
because
has.
you're an asshole.
Yeah,
You can still not
but
want
see,
public property shared. You can still not want that.
Okay, so that's the thing though. The fact that they're an asshole, it has nothing to do with the system, the way that the system works. Okay, that like you're trying to defend something that doesn't. It technically it's
You have
irrelevant.
no idea what I'm talking about. You have no clue what I'm talking about. You have no clue. You have no clue. We are living in two worlds. We're living in two different dimensions. You think that I'm saying something. You think I'm defending socialism. I'm not talking about socialism. I am talking about the fact that you don't have critical thinking skills and you don't know how to make an argument. That's what I'm discussing because I agree with your points, but not for the reason that you're making them. And that's what you don't get. You need to learn how to make better arguments.
Okay,
your
well,
points, I agree with the conclusions of your dumb points, but the arguments that you are making are so stupid. You don't understand. You're just repeating what people have told you. If you would just go read a fucking book, you would be able to make cogent arguments that we could then have a discussion about. But I can't even have a discussion with you because the arguments you're making are stupid. I understand your damn point, but the arguments you're making to get to your point are fucking idiotic. Go in what you already think you know, and then you will be able to sound smarter than you think you are.
What do you want me to do? You want me to go read a book?
Go read a book.
What book am I supposed to read? What do you want me to read?
Shit, man. Fuck. A People's History of the United States of America. Go check that one out. That one is socialist propaganda. But read that book so you can see the perspective that other people are coming from. I don't know, man. Google basic, introduction to socialism. Go find a socialist that you disagree with and just listen to the stuff they have to say just because it's a different point of view from you. I regularly go listen, not regularly, but I try to go listen to people who I don't agree with. It's hard. It sucks. I don't like doing it, but when I do it, I become a better person. So I want you to have you can hate social. Listen to me. Listen to me. Are you listening? You can hate socialism. You can hate it. But you need to have an informed hatred. Right now, your hatred is a bunch of fucking Facebook memes and shit that you've seen on Twitter. You need to go understand what it is that you are claiming to hate. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, man.
Go understand what you hate. And then you can hate it as much as you want, but you will at least be able to make an argument that will persuade someone to your other side. Because all your argument does is makes people think that socialism is just that much right because you are arguing against it in a stupid way. And if you actually went up against somebody who wanted to make you look bad, bro, you would look so bad and you wouldn't know why. And I don't want you to look stupid. But you do because you don't understand what you claim you believe. Stop letting other people make you their puppets, man.
Okay. What was that? Where's this thing? I gotta write that down. What is that book? How big is that book?
I don't know. Don't go that book because I don't want to be that person.
What?
Don't go get that book. Don't get that book. I don't want to be that person's puppet. You go find out. Just go look. Go journey. Ask questions about this stuff to Google that you normally wouldn't ask. What you really might want to go do, dog, is go.
Did you say people's history?
Yeah, don't worry about the book. I don't want to be that person's puppet. I'm changing my mind. Yes, it's okay to change your mind. Yes, I'm changing my mind. That's what smart people do. Smart people change their minds. If you're not willing to change your mind, you are not a smart person. Smart people change their minds. So, no, I don't want you to go get that book. What I want you to do is Google critical thinking skills. I want you to find a free critical thinking skill class, and I want you to learn about logical fallacies. I have used several of them in the conversation with you because you don't know what they are. You have let me get away with murder in this conversation talking to you because you don't know that I'm getting away with murder. I done made appeals to authority. I have made ad hominems. I have been in here just cheating in this conversation the whole damn time, and you didn't know because and you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what specific fallacies I've used against you because I don't know them all. Fuck, I need to go study them because I'm gonna go up against somebody and they gonna wax my ass and I'm gonna be mad about it. So what I'm saying is go learn how to argue, bro. Go learn how to argue. Go learn how to argue smart. Go learn how to argue so you don't have to have these sorts of conversations where you raising your motherfucking voice the entire time and you be sick and dead by the end of it. It's possible to have conversations with niggas without raising your voice to the sky. So go learn critical thinking skills.
So this is over?
Yes, this is over. I have enjoyed meeting you. I think that you are well on your way to becoming a really awesome person. I think you are doing a great job on this journey if you will just let yourself be willing to be wrong. I am sorry for all of the disrespectful things that I said to you on this call today. I allowed myself to get upset, and I'm not mad at you. I am mad at the system that created you. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But you need to go learn before that system has you out here saying shit, looking a way that you don't want to look.
Okay. See you later or whatever.
All right, Mr. Straight White Male.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.